Hey guys, it's Lauren here, and today I am doing a slew of videos, but I just wanted to come and tell you a little bit about how my Vivid Locks is installed. So basically I have done the elastic band method going across my closure at the top part of my closure, and then I have the back of the closure sewn on down, and then the rest of the weave is sewn down as if it's just a regular sew-in. So I am going to be showing you all how I sewed on the silk base closure. You can do this with a silk base or a lace closure, but anyway, I'm going to show you how to sew that down in the rest of this video. So keep watching, and you're gonna love it. But just a little bit about the elastic band method before you see how I install it. When you leave the perimeter of your hair out, you can do anything. You can pull your hair back like this. You can pull it back wearing a headband. You can toss it to the side. You can toss it to either side, however large your closure is. That's why I get 3.5 to a 4 inch across the perimeter part. Don't get any smaller than that because that's going to limit you to just the side part or middle part. But if you get a 3.5 inch to a 4 inch or larger, that enables you to move your hair wherever way you want to, and you can part it on either side. You don't have to worry about the closure having that line of demarcation when your hair starts to grow back, because the elastic band, you can just move it up. You don't have to worry about uninstalling your hair. I've done glue and I have done sewing around the perimeter. I don't like those. Glue lifts, and when your braids start to grow back, the lace or the silk base closure will start to move back, and then you see a little bit of the braids coming through, and it takes away from that seamless part. But when you do the elastic band, when your braids do start to grow back, all you have to do is push it forward. You don't have to worry about uninstalling your whole head to fix that problem. So yeah, I am using the elastic band from now on. Forget glue, forget sewing, no glue, no sew. That's how I roll now. And then I can still have it tight on my head. I don't like you part wigs. I stick to sew-ins. So anyway, that's basically how it is. And yeah, you can move your hair on either part. If you do a sew-in or sewing around the perimeter, you can't do that because depending on what kind of thread you use, it will not be as flat. With this, you don't have any thread, and with this, you're not stuck with one part, because when you have to sew on the sides, the thread will show. It takes away from me being able to be parted on the far side, in the middle, or changing my parts because of that. So like I said, you all, the tutorial on how I sew on the elastic band is in the back. One more tip is when you're sewing on the hair with the elastic band, make sure you don't sew on the elastic band. I'm going to show you what I mean right now. So right here I have my braid and my track, and then here's my leave out in the back, but I didn't sew down on the sew the track on the elastic band. Therefore, I can still move it when the time comes for me to maybe push my closure up. If you sew on the elastic band, it will stay, and you don't want that to happen because you won't be able to fix your closure. So yes, that's it, and I love that method. So you all please go and finish watching the video so you can see how it works. So hey you all, right now I am showing you that the elastic band is going to be placed in the middle of my braids that hold my weave, and then the perimeter braid. But as you can see, I'm not using the large elastic band. You just want to use a little elastic band, not the smallest, but the kind that's like an inch, because if you use any bigger, it's not going to sit in between your braids and your leave out. So just make sure you get the size elastic band that I'm using. I'm going to check to see what size it is actually and put it down in the description box. As you can see, I have measured the elastic band from the length of my head so that I can have it flush, so that the closure around the perimeter will be flush to my head, not extremely tight, because you don't want to get a headache, and with your weave being tight, your braids being tight, you definitely don't want the elastic to be pulling your brains out because it's so tight. So make sure you just measure it so that you can, like you saw in the beginning of the video, kind of pick it up just a little bit, and that the closure still lays flat. But now what I'm doing is I am taking my thread and needle, and I'm starting as close to the elastic band as possible, not on the elastic band, and I'm not going to sew the elastic band to my braids, but as close as to the elastic band as possible, and as close as I can get. And I'm going to sew that part onto the first braid that I have, my anchor braid, so that it will lay flat at the top. And then from that point on, basically I am going to just sew around the perimeter of the closure, and that's how I do it. And after I've sewed around the perimeter of the closure, the rest of that netting part back there will be where I sew on my weave. So you could just do it as if it was a regular sew-in after this point. Like I said before, which I want to reinstate, is that you do not want to sew down the elastic band. That's why if you notice in the back, I have the elastic band around my leave out braid, just so I don't accidentally get it sewn down, because you want to be able to still have its elasticity. You don't want it to not be able to move when you get ready to fix your closure, because your hair will slide back just a little bit. But as you can see with this method, the elastic band holds it right in place in front of the braid, so it has a ways back to go before your braids do start to slide back for it to look bad. If you were doing the method without the elastic band, just sewing the closure around the perimeter, you would have to sew very close to the braids, because you'd have to sew onto the braids. So that's how it ends up looking bad after a few weeks of you having it. But with this method, it still lays flush. You really can't even tell right there. I mean, you can only tell because I'm picking it up to make sure it isn't too tight. But once it lays flush like there, you can't tell at all the difference, and it lays very flat. So that's it, you all, and I'm just going to finish sewing that on and continue watching. So this is the end result of the closure. As you can see, this is just a clip that I had before, but I'm showing you that's how it looks laid down after you just pull your hair over, and you can run your fingers through your hair. You can part it any type of way, as I said before. So that's it. Thanks for watching.